pro wrestling podcast. A midlife crisis because he does all those screaming karate moves.
Love Island.
Bludgeon Brothers!
What kind of stupid name is that?
He's from Minnesota. All Minnesotans know Japanese as a second language.
You guys know so much.
This is the best pro wrestling podcast, and we do know so much.
So much.
My name's Tommy Stryker. Much. Joining me back in studio this week, Taco is here.
What up?
Joe is back as well after a week off. I did no solo best pro wrestling podcast. I can't do this podcast by myself. Strong honor, I can kind of pull that off. I can just talk about all the stuff that happened. But this show, since we've changed the format up just a little bit, I'm not going to do this thing by myself. This thing's about the conversation that we have, and so I had enough trouble editing together a cohesive Strong Honor podcast last week. But we are back. It is we post 4th of July. We've got the Extreme Rules pay-per-view coming up this Sunday.
We got a belly full of wieners.
What is
4th of July.
Oh, yes, of course.
We like hot dogs.
Okay, hold on.
God, what were you thinking of?
I don't know what I was thinking.
Sick fuck.
Apparently, I'm the gross one in this conversation.
That is so profane.
Tommy Stryker.
And rude.
So bituminous of you.
So, yeah, we're going to talk about Extreme Rules. We're going to talk about the G1 special a little bit. That happened to New Japan's big show.
Why, what happened?
At the Cow Palace.
Did something happen there?
I don't know. Something happened there. But if you want to find out what happened, check out our Strong Honor podcast where we talk about everything Ring of Honor and especially New Japan with the G1 special. The big G1 Climax tournament is starting this weekend, too. So we preview that whole thing over there on Strong Honor.
I've learned some fun shit about the Cow Palace this weekend. Like, I was like, I don't give a fuck. What the hell is so special about the Cow Palace? Well, I don't know why, but on History Channel, they had a big Evil Knievel special going on. There was like a giant documentary on him.
Wasn't there some dude that just did a bunch of his stunts or something?
Travis Pastrana. Fucking, he's the man. But, awesome documentary about Evil Knievel. Fun shit, but they brought up the Cow Palace in it. And I was like, oh, awesome. I was just watching some fucking Japanese wrestling in there. And apparently there was a big riot there because of Evil Knievel because he was just pretty much saying that the Hells Angels are a bunch of pussies and they don't know how to ride motorcycles. What else? Shit. So they actually came to go beat his ass, and the people in the crowd actually came down to help defend, and a big riot came out at the Cow Palace. So I was like, fuck yeah.
So a big brawl broke out is what you're saying.
Oh no! A brawl's broken out! Didn't see this one coming! What? Battling it out of the ring! You didn't see it coming! Chaos!
Funny story, too. One of Evil Knievel's guys slammed one of the Hells Angels into a guardrail and knocked JR over in a big fiasco.
What else?
All right, we're going to get into all of that stuff here. But we got to start off the show with our best of the week. It's hashtag the B.
The B stands for best.
Send us your hashtag the bests of the week at BPW. I almost did Strong Honor again. At BPW Podcast on Twitter. Taco, what is your best of the week?
My
the
best
B stands for best.
My best of the week was a couple days ago. Amazon announced that they were doing this mini wrestling show, 12 episodes, Dojo Pro, where they get a bunch of young and up-and-coming talent and get some more established talent and put them in different seeds, and they got to work their way up for this white belt. Eventually, they face off for the black belt, and then the black belt champion goes on to a Ring of Honor to get a chance at the TV title, which is still up, to be announced. But
so we got high stakes on the line here in this tournament for the Ring of Honor Television Championship shot.
Yes, but it was just one of those things where it's just it's not phenomenal wrestling or anything, but it's good. It's fun wrestling. Get to see some names I'm not too familiar with. Joey Janela was in there. Jeff Cobb was in there. Shane Strickland.
Ooh, I like all those names.
Those
are good names.
Definitely go out to watch the Shane Strickland match. So the dude's always always phenomenal to watch.
MJF, Colt Cabana's son, is in this thing.
Yep.
So, Amazon Prime members can watch this.
Amazon Prime, you can get a free 30-day subscription out there and stuff. So, otherwise, you can also buy it or rent it too, I believe, on Amazon. But
what else?
It's worth checking out. It's fun shit.
Joe, what's your best of the week?
Let's talk about Team Hell No and how awesome it's just been having them back.
Yeah.
Doing all the right moves. Let's hitting all the right spots. And let's just talk their arguments. They time their arguments perfectly for every conversation to always get into a yes/no argument.
Yeah. And the boy band references early and often. Kane quoting NSYNC.
I absolutely love just Daniel Bryan be like, "You kidnapped my wife." Tried to
kidnap your wife. Yeah, it's funny because it's like the nostalgia thing that everybody's accusing it of being, but it is fun. But it's also, you can see the breakup already coming
absolutely.
As well. So that's kind of fun. And I like what they did on SmackDown this week too, where it was a Miz TV segment, and Miz is out there, poking the bear or whatever. Daniel Bryan wants to punch him in the face. Like Kane's getting in the way. He just wants to punch him in the face, and hopefully they're going to do that one at SummerSlam, Miz and Daniel Bryan, because I still believe, and I haven't heard that he has signed. Daniel Bryan has not re-signed yet. And so I still believe he's going to leave WWE when his contract is up on September 1st. But I mean, it's probably not going to happen, but until I hear it's going to happen.
You're making it sound so negative, though. It's just, I really believe they're going to give him like the Chris Jericho treatment. Like, go off, go do what you want. You can come back home anytime.
Absolutely.
The door's always going to be open for Daniel Bryan.
I think, like I've talked about it before, but Daniel Bryan, when he's on these podcasts and he talks about these things that are kind of on his bucket list, things that he really wants to do. He wants to do a hair versus mask in CMLL. He wants to do a New Japan run. So I want to see it. I think there's a section of the audience that wants to see it. The WWE audience probably doesn't want to see it. They want to see the matchups there. The Brock Lesnar matchup, which we'll talk about that possibility here in a minute. But I mean, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, even like a guy at NXT, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa.
He's doing it, though. He's throwing himself in these situations where it's, 30-man Royal Rumble, fuck, let's do 40. I want to be number one. Like, he's making sure he does get these interactions with these guys, though, so he's not leaving us with nothing.
Yeah. But, I mean, again, the internet's screaming at the booking so far. His first feud back is with Big Cass, and now he's back with Kane doing the Team Hell No thing. At least the Team Hell No thing is entertaining.
Yes.
I'm enjoying that.
At least we're getting Daniel Bryan fucking wrestling. Right. In the meantime, we still got him in the ring with AJ Styles one-on-one. We still got him in the ring with Rusev, who also got a fucking victory, who's in the fucking main title picture right now. It's like, what more? Like, it's awesome right now. Like, SmackDown to me is killing it, and they're not shoving Daniel Bryan down our throats like we want them, like we think we want them to be, but I
still like AJ on top too.
Yeah, AJ's still fucking killing it. We don't need to pull that fucking card right now. I'm cool with fucking Daniel Bryan just tearing shop up, being Daniel Bryan, and he's just getting sharper and sharper because when it does come to higher stakes, it's gonna be one of the best things we've fucking seen.
Well, that's the thing, is it's not like they're facing like shitty competition in the tag team division on SmackDown right now. They're facing the Bludgeon Brothers on Sunday. They faced the Usos last week.
Bludgeon Brothers!
We're getting good matchups, and again, he's just fine-tuning everything, every single match, every single time. Only getting better. And yeah, like we said, it's fucking funny. Let's enjoy it.
I think the internet is screaming a little bit about facing the Bludgeon Brothers. But yeah, it is an enjoyable run. And again, just having Daniel Bryan back is a bonus. But I'm excited to see what he does outside of WWE as well. If that's the way he goes, because WWE has so much money now, and it's interesting because it's like ratings keep going down, but they keep getting these great TV deals that pay them so much money. They're richer than they ever have been before. They could offer Daniel Bryan a contract that he would be a fool to refuse, and maybe he would take it. So
yeah, think he's the guy that would say no to it still, to be honest with you. Like, to me,
but
he's someone that can disappear September, October, November, December, January, Royal Rumble appearance. People fucking lose their shit. He does a fucking spree into WrestleMania season, month or two there, dips out again, and wraps up his thing and finally comes home and, just happy in WWE once again. Like, to me, that what more could you ask for? I'm not a wrestler. It's hard for me to put my mind in that mindset. But just looking at his health and his history of how things went down, we know his game plan. We know he wants to go out there and chase his dreams. We know he's comfortable financially, and Bree's also there. Financially comfortable as well. They're not done with their money. They're penny pinchers, and that's great.
Right.
So for him to take 2 years off, he can do it and still live a comfortable life. And I hope. I want him to be happy, though.
Yeah, for
ultimately.
Sure.
And
I think the big question, or maybe one of the questions, is the Brie situation because of the reality show stuff. That's a big tie-in with WWE with the Total Bellas, Divas thing. Daniel Bryan's a part of Brie's life, and if he's off running around doing Japan and Ring of Honor, they're not going to feature him on Total Bellas.
They're not,
or something.
But that's drama right there. How's Brie acting with him in Mexico or Japan without her?
They could do a fake breakup, just like John Cena and Nikki Bella. So, my best of the week is the G1.
The B stands for best.
The G1 special, the entire show. I just thought it was great. I thought it deserved top billing here on the best of the week. Good matches throughout. Good storytelling. Lots of very eventful stuff coming out of it. And so we'll get into some stuff along the way here as we talk about the week of wrestling, as it were. But yeah, really great. I loved the Juice Robinson winning the U.S. title and the angle,
awesome story
angle with JR in there. We'll talk about that in a minute there. And then the thing with Cody and Kenny Omega just winning the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and finally defeating the nuisance that Cody Rhodes is in the Bullet Club. Definitively defeating him in a crazy match with ladders and all kinds of shit. Talk about that in a little bit here too. And we go into all of this stuff over on Strong Honor. So if you're interested or want to know more, just check out Strong Honor over there. Let's move on. Let's talk a little bit of the news of the week before we get to our predictions here.
Pro wrestling news.
We have quite a bit of news for you.
So, since we were just talking about the G1 special, Jim Ross suffered an injury due to there was a spot in the Jay White versus Juice Robinson match for the IWGP US title where Jay White threw Juice Robinson into the guardrail, basically into the
multiple times.
Where the throwing guys into guardrails is pretty standard in New Japan. That's not anything new. But they threw him into the guardrail that was right in front of the announce table where JR...
And none of them were connected either.
The guardrail?
The guardrail. So, when one got hit, it went flying, so being attached and going with it.
Which was odd. I feel like they should have been attached, or maybe they were just flying out because they were loosely attached. Who knows?
Maybe,
I don't know. But Jim
I'm not an engineer.
Here's the thing is they're claiming that this thing was not a work, and I kind of forgot to get into this aspect of it when we talked about it on Strong Honor. I 100% believe it was a work.
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing was supposed to happen, but I also believe that Jim Ross is probably legit injured after, Juice Robinson goes full bore into the announce table, knocks Jim Ross out of his chair.
Oh, no. Well, it nails him. Like, if you watch the replay, like, I had to check it just a couple times just to be sure, but when Juice hits, it's like almost immediate you see JR go down.
Oh, yeah. I had to rewind that I was laughing hard.
And then just fucking Josh Barnett. I'm sorry. That, you done fucked up now.
And him getting in the ring and getting in Jay White's face and all that. Jay White, again, playing a great heel in the situation.
Yes.
And then the other thing I didn't talk about on the other podcast was the Josh Barnett story here. He's just recently like retired from UFC. He wants to focus on other things in his career. He wants to do some pro wrestling. He wants to do like some grappling stuff that he's done some of that stuff already, but he wants to focus on some other things. And so what a perfect way to foray into New Japan. And, you know, he's been doing the announcing for Access TV. You do this little spot with Jay White. It's perfect. So I love it. I'm very intrigued by the possibility of Josh Barnett doing matches in New Japan.
Yeah.
Especially with a young guy like Jay White. He's going to learn so much from a guy like Josh Barnett. And have you guys ever watched Josh Barnett's pro wrestling stuff? He's done some pro wrestling stuff. It is very unique. It is shoot style. I mean, it looks like a fucking fight, or it looks like worked MMA.
That's what he wants. He wants a brawl.
Yeah, but it looks like worked MMA basically. So it's really. I mean, it's not Irish whips and fucking leapfrogs and stuff and drop kicks. It's very technical and very fight style.
Almost like old Bob Sapp.
Yeah. So nice. I'm really intrigued to see what Josh Barnett does in a New Japan ring. It looks like they're going that way. Speaking of UFC and MMA, the Brock Lesnar situation. Taco, why don't you talk about this a little bit?
It was long rumored, and it came to fruition. Brock Lesnar's in the UFC right now. Someone out there tweeted, Brock Lesnar got confused. He thinks UFC stands for Universal fucking Champion. But as a fight fan, going the fights, I'm amazed. Fucking DC first round, fuck yeah, that's wow.
Yeah, he's a guy that's been trying to win the championship for a long time and finally accomplished that goal.
It's a combo.
Yeah, it was a heavyweight against the light heavyweight. Daniel Cormier, though, he's always fought at heavyweight until one of his training partners became heavyweight champion. So he's like, all right, I don't fight my teammates. I'm going to move down a weight class. And that's when he went to the John Jones weight class, and that's where John Jones, and he was having those squabbles. So yeah, ideally he's undefeated except for against John Jones, who
technically John Jones beat him a couple of times, but in the record books it's the other guy because he failed the drug test.
Exactly. Yeah. So they put the belt back on DC, and that's why they're like, all right, DC's a fucking beast. Stipe, you're a beast. We're gonna do a champion versus champion super fight, which awesome. And that's where the rumors started coming in. Winner's gonna face Brock Lesnar. Sure enough, he was there.
They do that fucking angle where they're shoving each other after the match.
Well, fucking right off the fucking bat,
that was great.
Brock Lesnar's just all like, fucking DC's a fucking bitch. Stipe's a fucking bitch. Yeah. Daniel Cormier, I'm coming for you, motherfucker. Like, it's Brock. Look on Joe Rogan's face, like, God damn it. Don't, why? Love this shit.
Cutting promos in the fucking octagon.
Yeah.
Yep.
I get why people are mad at everything. It's bringing that, WWE mentality to the UFC, which
it's hot, dude.
Fucking UFC has always, said they didn't want, but guess what? They're owned by WME. Fucking, it's an entertainment fucking company. This is what the UFC needs right now. They need to get those eyes on them. It's only going to get more eyes on the WWE product too, with Ronda Rousey out there and everything. She just got inducted to their Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So it's you know what? You're really that mad about the Universal Championship not being on fucking WWE TV?
Well, that's the
really
idea.
Not.
They're trying to get people to cheer Roman Reigns. So
I'm
it's not working.
It is, though. That crowd was pretty hot for him this week, and I'm kind of fucking like, we'll get into it a little bit.
Go Bob.
But, it's just, I'm not that mad with, I'm more mad at fucking UFC and USADA and the fucking piss testing rules and the loopholes and how to get out of that shit for him.
Well, he
can't fight till January of next year.
Well, I think it's December if he already entered
exactly. I haven't even bothered looking into that fucking details.
Yeah. Meltzer was talking about it a little bit. If he entered,
he's in.
If he entered the testing pool by the beginning of the month, he could go by December or something. So there's that. And then the other thing Meltzer said was he's got one more match left on his WWE deal. He'd signed that short-term extension after WrestleMania, or before WrestleMania, whatever it was. And so he's got one more match on that. I imagine that'll be at SummerSlam, probably versus Roman Reigns. So he'll probably lose the championship there, and they'll just have to deal with the booing of Roman, or perhaps the cheering, just because people are going to be doing the na bye thing to Bork Laser.
Right.
So
I gotta say though, UFC wise though, we're going to see some of the most pro wrestling promos coming out of fucking DC's mouth for this fight, though.
Oh, he's good.
Because he loves that shit.
What is it, Cake and Chicken?
I'm all about that cake and chick, yeah.
Dude, I just watched the angle that they did at this pay-per-view here. I'm already sold. I want to see this fucking match. So, it's working, man.
Yeah, it's exciting. So
promos work, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask fucking Conor McGregor.
You want to see some good? You want to see some decent promos? I can't remember. I know it's Hunter Pence, I think, of the San Francisco Giants, but him and a pitcher from the San Francisco Giants cut a straight-up Randy Macho Man Savage style promo trying to hype their guy for the All-Star game. They're trying to get votes so he can get to the All-Star game. But it's like a minute and a half long of them just, ooh, yeah, you gotta vote for him. Just intense the whole time. Well worth the watch.
I do love the fact that in the same night, though, we had the pro wrestling guy getting back into fights, and then we had the former fighter going back into pro wrestling all in one night.
Only other news I got that I wanted to bring up was the Mae Young Classic news. Caitlyn is going to be coming back for the Mae Young Classic. She was one of my favorites back in the day. She's kind of stood out in that diva era as someone a little bit more legit. And since she's left WWE, she's done some other stuff. I guess she's had a divorce, some substance issues, whatever. But she's recently returned to the ring, I believe, earlier this year, and it's really honed her craft and is excited to see it to kind of prove herself in front of the quote WWE universe.
Yeah, so should be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
And the first competitor announced too. That's a big deal.
Sure. So yeah, I'm excited. They're going to tape this thing on. I had it written down. I think it was the 8th and 9th of August. Anyway, they're going to tape it in early August, probably, and I forget if they've announced when they're going to air it yet. Probably later in August, something like that. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on that deal there. So, but yeah, I'm excited to see what she's going to do back in the E. All right, before we get into,
I got some minor news that I just realized. Fandango. Or Fandango. He's going to be out 6, I'm guessing, to 9 months, WWE months kind of thing. But he's going to be, I think he had shoulder surgery of some sort, tore something.
Yeah, he had shoulder surgery, and then Goldust had surgery on both of his knees. But they didn't give a timeline for Goldust or say what kind of surgery it was. So he's getting up there anyway. It's not like he's going to be doing a bunch of matches going forward. So, but yeah.
I'm interested to see what actually Tyler Breeze does. If
anything.
Now, I mean, even if it's as minor as stepping back down to NXT for some matches in that, something of that nature. He could easily be a 205 guy, 205 live guy. We know he's got decent matches in him. He's had some decent ones down at NXT.
Well, is he bigger or smaller than Jinder?
Weird question. Is Jinder Mahal a cruiserweight?
Yeah, about that.
Well, he's smaller than Jinder.
Yeah, definitely.
Is he smaller or bigger than Roderick Strong?
Weird question. Is Roderick Strong a cruiserweight?
And I know he's smaller than Goldust. But Goldust just had the surgery too, but you never know.
Weird question. Is Goldust a cruiserweight?
And I know it's a different gender, but I'm pretty sure he's a bit smaller than Nia Jax.
Weird question. Is Nia Jax a cruiserweight?
All right. That was fun.
Oh, you just had to get them all in, didn't you?
Well, once you start, you can't really stop. All right.
Change the subject.
Let's talk our pet peeves.
Sit, boo, sit.
Pet peeves.
Good dog.
Before we get into our Extreme Rules predictions, Joe, you've got a particular pet peeve that you want to talk about this week here.
The SmackDown Live women's division. Taken out the entire division. Taken out by one move. Like an explosion of women, which would normally be awesome. But it's just and then the fact that, again, James Ellsworth, I can't even like describe what's going on in my mind because like I'm playing it in my head and like he almost botches the hairspray in the first place and then the hairspray does get involved or whatever the fuck gets sprayed in her eyes.
The dive on everybody that was Oscar.
That was Oscar.
Yeah. So at least
it was Oscar.
I was gonna say at least it was Oscar because they've been just fucking burying Oscar ever since losing her streak too. So, but yeah,
the fact that attack afterwards, like, do we? Like they had a chance. I saw someone post it, but they had a chance to do something. You know, whether it's James Ellsworth, yes, but they had a chance to do something with an actual match here, having the women surrounded, make him fight her. You know, do something,
and they just out of him
they just fucking embarrass themselves again.
Yeah, and speaking of what did you have something there, Taka?
Oh, it is what it is. I'm not that mad about it.
That's why it's my pet peeve, Taco, not yours.
Doing it.
Speaking of the women's division, my pet peeve this week is the Bayley Sasha storyline. One of you had a tweet that you were talking about in the pre-show.
Somebody asked like, what would you do with the Bayley Sasha feud right now? And someone just posted the Japanese guy from the new Godzilla movie. Just let them fight. It was just so perfect. Like it worked so well. With what's going on.
They just need to fight. Why are we this god awful therapy storyline? They have to go to therapy to keep their jobs. Keep their jobs. Their jobs are fighting. Their jobs are to beat each other up. Let them fight. Why are we in therapy?
With the Extreme Rules coming up.
And we have Extreme Rules. Why don't you let them fight? 2 weeks ago, it was all about the stupid ass Dr. Shelby thing. So it was dumb, but at least Dr. Shelby was there. We had some nostalgia for that.
Dr. Shelby.
And then it reminded us that we had Team Hell No right over there on SmackDown Live. Okay, fine, whatever. But then they bring it back the next week. They got some other schmuck there, and we're finally going to get this thing addressed by Kurt Angle after Extreme Rules. So I don't know. It's just again
the camera shots of them like talking, but you can't hear anything they're saying. They're like, yeah, they're working it out. You know, they're talking with the doctor. Like, you're giving us nothing for this.
But I guess I liked that better than the week before, where they were doing like acting out fucking you act like how she would feel, and like that was so bad. So yeah, I'm over it.
It drives me nuts because it was like, again, going in the right direction. Extreme Rules coming up.
Just fight.
Fucking, you have Bayley stuck in your head, not being able to do a fucking Extreme Rules match, and then a year later, we're full circle. Like, she's finally gonna be able to fucking do it. And it's just the pre-show. It's perfect for the pre-show. You have that fucking tables match going on pre-show. I know a lot of people are fucking mad about that. No, that's what you need to do with the pre-show. Fucking make the pre-show worth
there's too many
watching.
Matches on this damn show as
exactly.
it is.
So bump some of these on the fucking pre-show. I don't need to hear them fucking repeating themselves with the same fucking topics and saying the same silly shit.
We got 11 with the pre-show.
And think about one of those fucking matches is a 30-minute Iron Man match. It's just like you can put this shit treat the fucking pre-show like it's a Sunday Night Heat or a Velocity or, that warm-up show, not let's talk, quick match, talk, quick match. Like,
what does that mean?
You have fucking New Day get Sanity in a fucking tables match.
Yeah.
I'm stoked for this shit. I'm not mad about it not being on the fucking pay-per-view because guess what? It's still on the fucking WWE network. You're still watching it the same.
Right. They can save it for SummerSlam. I get it. I'm just saying.
It's a tables match. It's a fucking shoehorn fucking match to keep this feud going. Like, you can keep this shit going and have a legit 3-on-3 match out of this without the tables. Like, these stars can do that.
How did you get to the tables match? We're talking
it's the
Bayley and Sasha.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they should have this on the fucking pre-show.
Oh,
there you go.
I mean,
you can have the fucking pre-show worth watching. You could have like, oh fuck, like fucking Bayley or Sasha finally snapped in the fucking room. Maybe you can even loser leaves town. One of them fucking finally leaves Raw to fucking end this nonsense. So it's get someone, move one of them to SmackDown or something.
Honestly, just looking at the card here,
there's too much.
Jeff Hardy and Shinsuke Nakamura do that on TV. Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman in a steel cage match. Okay, it's a cage match. It's Extreme Rules. We got to have something on the extreme side of things. Bludgeon Brothers and Team Hell No, you could do that on TV. Oscar Carmella, you could do that on TV.
Ellsworth is in the shark cage now, though.
Right, Ellsworth in the
Extreme.
Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt versus the B Team. You can do that on TV. That doesn't need to be on the pay-per-view.
I don't know, man. That Bo Dallas Bray Wyatt impression is it's getting better and better every week.
Is it?
It really is.
100%.
Yeah,
Not fucking
pay-per-view
quality, though.
I wonder where he gets it from, you know?
Like, build this shit.
I still just enjoy the little lantern that he has to close to turn off.
His lantern makes more sense than the one that Bray Wyatt has with the fucking switch on the bottom. He blows it out, but nothing. It's a light. It's an LED. So I don't. Whatever. All right.
Evil comes out with lasers.
Taco,
on his fingertips.
Taco,
and a giant fucking Sith from Party City.
Taco, what is your
that
pet?
Had a fucking import from America.
Change the subject.
Taco, what's your pet peeve?
Fucking evil Sith at the moment.
What else?
I'm gonna have to. I can't give JR a fucking pass this time. Like, first time, okay, continue on, still fucking up.
Jim Ross
commentating
on the
commentating,
G1 special.
A lot of people were harsh on Josh Barnett, but to me, he at least had some knowledge to back up on some of this, and
he knew their names.
You know, seems like a fan of it. Where JR was just clearly showing up for a fucking paycheck, and with like out of everything that New Japan's been doing, this is just like the biggest snooze fest they can fucking do. It's just like you could put Kevin Kelly, anybody else with Josh Barnett, and I feel like we could have had a better commentating team.
Again, it's the Access TV call.
I know. So. They're just wrapping up their contracts or some dumb shit with them, but it's just I don't know, man. It's just it's disappointing in JR to me. Just, you know, you're a professional. I said on Strong Honor to me, you're the top shelf liqueur.
He's got to hang up that cowboy
and he's
hat.
Not acting like it. You know, it's just even when he does like WWE commentating, it feels like a treat. It's, you know, nostalgia on there, but when this Access TV stuff, it's just, I'm sorry, JR, man. Like, you're ruining the bubble for me right now.
All right, well, I got a couple of quick honorable mentions things here I want to get to before we get to our Extreme Rules predictions here.
Change the subject.
Lucha Underground, and this was almost going to slide into our pet peeves segment here, but their deal with Sling and what's the
Dish Network?
Dish Network.
It's Dish Network and Television or something, Gala Network or something like that.
So anyway, you can't watch Lucha Underground on Sling, as that's how Taco and I were watching. And you too, Joe, weren't you?
I was getting. I'm literally getting Sling probably next week.
Okay, yeah,
and was pretty happy that I was going to be able to watch Lucha Underground. Actually,
yeah, that was a bummer, man.
So we couldn't.
It's typical Dish Network though. They always go through this shit, and it's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's not one or the other. It's fucking both of them. You look at all like the El Rey Network, all those channels that are under that umbrella, they're all are on the upper tier packages on every other cable, whether it's Comcast, you know, the Dish Now streaming or Dish Now satellite, everything. It's on upper tier packages except for Sling TV. So it's just, hey, you know, and it's them wanting more money because of the whole World Cup going on right now. And it's like, no, cool your jets, you know, ask for less money and Sling pay them more money, because obviously that's a big chunk of your, you know, it's hurting a lot of people. And it was one of the best Spanish packages out there for, you know, the Spanish audience.
Yeah.
So, it's a fucking bummer, man.
Well, anyway, Lucha Underground a couple of weeks ago when we did get to see it was it was that Grave Consequences match that Mil Muertes won, where everybody's getting thrown into caskets and whatnot. So that was a good deal. After the show, Antonio Cueto gives Matanza the key, and he becomes a god. But Antonio loses Matanza as a son. So I guess Matanza is going to become a god now with the key, the big key that he would wear around his neck or whatever. So he has that key now. He's going to become a god.
He's going to blossom to a butterfly.
And then we had the debut of Exolicious.
Oh yeah,
which was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Very unique wrestler there. So check those out. But yeah, no, we can't talk about last week's Lucha Underground because we didn't see it. Again, and this week we usually try to talk a little bit of NXT on here too because we all love NXT. We are recording a little bit later than we usually do, so we skipped this week's NXT. But last week's NXT, I wanted to talk about a little bit here because I really enjoyed last week's episode. It was Johnny Gargano versus EC3.
Oh, yeah.
And Gargano showing that aggression, a new
Top
side,
1%.
a new side of.
That's what I said a couple of weeks ago. He's becoming Ciampa.
Yeah, and I like the stuff they did. Dakota Kai got a win over Santana Garrett. Nothing big there, but just some positive momentum for Dakota Kai, who's been involved in some storylines with the champion recently. So kind of a restart for her. We had the handicap match between Otis and TM61. TM61 attacked the tag team partner in the back, and so that was fun. And then
the way they set that promo up, I love when Otis finally gets back and you just see a quick flash of TM61 in the mirror.
Right.
Who? You mean the Mighty?
I'm sorry, the Mighty.
Thank you.
And then Velveteen Dream versus Chris Dijak. Again, building up Dijak a little bit slowly here, but Velveteen Dream needing a win after taking a couple of big pay-per-view losses or whatever. So him getting some momentum back here, and then Dijak getting some exposure on TV. I should also mention now that I'm thinking about it, last couple of weeks at 205
Dude,
have been really good.
Good
too.
shit they do.
I mean, last week the Buddy Murphy and
Mustafa Ali.
Yes, where Mustafa Ali got the win, but they incorporated the stairs really uniquely in the match. They did a super. I mean, if you haven't seen it, just go watch this fucking match. They set the stairs up in the corner, like upright. The bottom half of the stairs upright in the ring. They stand on the tippy top of this thing, which is higher than the top rope, and do a superplex off of the thing, which is incredible. And then they do some other. Mustafa Ali basically wins it with a running tornado DDT off of the stairs after they're laying back down in the normal position in the ring, and they're doing shit outside the ring too. A Spanish fly onto the announce table
from the barricade.
Right. And so all those stunts in this match, but also just a really well wrestled match as well.
Murphy really establishing himself.
Right. And then the follow-up this week with Murphy losing. Now he's out there this week with Tony Nese kind of stooging for him, but establishing his dominance, beating up the Lucha House Party. And then the main event was
Hideo and the champ.
Right, and Hideo, fucking a new aggressive side of Hideo. I love that they're just letting him speak Japanese in his promos and stuff.
His English has been good too.
Just about to say that his English has gotten a lot better than most.
Yeah, he's been they say he got signed to WWE in 2004 or 2014. Excuse
14,
me.
Yeah, it's been
so
4
it's
years.
Like, fuck, man, and we need to get some gold on this guy already.
And that the main event with Cedric Alexander, the beginning part was a bit slow, but it's typical WWE slow, where the heels got to work over with the chin locks and that bullshit, and it's slower on this format because on a 205 Live because they don't take the commercial breaks. Yep. So we get to see all of the heat of the match, and that's just how WWE books heat of matches, is with slow heel work. But when things picked up in the match, I thought Hideo looked great. Cedric was great with his comebacks.
Oh yeah, it was a good fucking TV match.
So yeah. But I do think it's getting close to time to possibly moving the championship off of Cedric Alexander.
Oh, for sure. There's been a lot of guys really stepping up to the plate, which is kind of unfortunate because it's just he won the championship and just backburnered a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
so I was
again,
glad that he was the one that's like, hey, boss, I need some fights. Like, I'm the champ.
Yeah.
Well, and there's not a championship fight at Extreme Rules, is there?
No, that's the thing. No. They haven't been putting the Cruiserweight Championship on the pay-per-view.
So it's like, I mean, again, you want to build this brand, but you're not even featuring them on the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Well, I think Vince McMahon gave up completely on it the day he handed control of it over to Triple H.
Oh, yeah, it's going to Triple H. They're fucking definitely pumping Miz and Mrs., after SmackDown, not 205.
Yeah, well, and remember the Cruiserweights used to be on Raw. They're not on Raw at all anymore.
But it's been the best move, though. I mean, everyone's looking like fucking stars. Even like that the selfie promo with Gulak this week was awesome. The trio they got going on there, I'm digging on. And fucking Leo Rush's big debut last week was fucking phenomenal. I'm loving his fucking cocky attitude.
Yeah.
He's still a young fucking punk, but backing it up. And this week's same shit, just cocky as fuck, and
backing it up. Yeah.
His music's fucking banging right off the fucking bat. I love it. He's flashy, he's cocky, he's loud, he's in your face. He gives 0 fucks, and I love that Tozawa was the first one to come out, and to be like, you're just a little fucking kid. What the fuck you doing? Get the fuck out of here. And just that whole, how all that's being played out is fucking awesome. It's like, damn, I'm looking forward to this match next week already, because Drake Maverick, he's like, no, I'm the one that makes the matches next week. Let's do this. And
that's another thing I like about
authority's putting his fucking foot down.
Since it's a short show, they book stuff for next week, and so like, oh, okay, we got that coming next week. So now we got something to look forward to. Whereas Raw is 3 hours, so we got to do something the opening segment to deliver in the final segment. We get, and then we rarely have anything to look forward to the following week because we got to cram it all in 1 week.
We got to cram commercials in.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm loving what they're doing with Leo Rush, just because he's kind of that cocky heel thing. But he's, again, like you said, he's backing it up. He's got the really cool, unique offense. He's fast, which he should be in the ring.
Just insanely fast.
I'm hoping
I've missed watching that dude wrestle.
Well, and I'm hoping they don't do what I was just talking about, typical WWE style booking, where they just have him, lock guys in chin locks and holds and stuff. Have this guy run around and be a maniac. I think him kind of being a heel at first, but then getting over by winning cleanly and having having matches with cool athletic moves in it, I think will work, and then the crowd can turn him into a good guy by just liking who he is.
Yep.
And so I think that'd be the good way to go with him. We'll see what they do. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about our predictions for Extreme Rules.
Change the subject. Predictions.
On the kickoff, New Day versus Sanity. Did a pretty decent job building this thing up with Sanity coming in, running in on SmackDown during the that was that big, that crazy opening. It was the opening on SmackDown, right, where it started off as Miz TV with Daniel Bryan and all of them, and then everybody came running in, Sanity attacking from behind. They do the big 10-man at the end of the show.
Holla.
Right.
So we're going to get that was definitely the holla moment of the show.
I'm going to make this a tag team match. Holla.
So on this, we're going to do a tables match here because it's Extreme Rules. Feels like they're building up Sanity for this one. I'm gonna pick them, I guess.
I'm going with Sanity. I think, again, this feud could go a long ways and lead all the way into SummerSlam. Again, having a 3-on-3 fight between these teams, amazing.
Were you the same there, Taco?
Yeah, I'm going Sanity. It's that easy victory without the pinfall win for our team.
Sure, and you can get the skullduggery in there, of course.
Skullduggery.
Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the United States Championship. Nakamura, fresh off a dog bite, is he going to be rabid for the United States Championship?
I hope so. Just foaming.
Again, this is kind of the one you could have got it done on TV. Taco, you son of stop it. Fucking dogs. I think Jeff Hardy's going to hang on to it. They've done nothing to build Shinsuke into this part. They've just had really good promos.
He's fighting dogs.
That's true.
Taco, what do you think?
Man, I'm gonna go Shinsuke. do we get a championship up on him at this point? Like, I know Jeff Hardy still has some injuries nagging, so it's been kind of.
Yeah,
it seems apparent that he wasn't 100% healed when he came back. There's been a few times where I'm like, "Are you all right still, dude? Like, are you selling? I know you're good."
Yeah, he walks whenever he comes out. It's like, ooh, how's he gonna do here?
Well, I'll go with Nakamura.
Yeah, I'm going Nakamura too, just because I think it feels like the Jeff Hardy thing feels stale. It doesn't feel right. I mean, yeah, he's over and everything, but
you can still get one.
I think his promos have gotten better.
Oh, they've been so fun.
Like,
that's
just,
true.
Like, kind of really pulling in the Brother Nero stuff.
Yeah.
Again, the I see you, and he opens his eyes, and he's wearing the fucking blind contacts. It's just insane.
Yeah, I'm not mad if he retains in this situation. He's been doing a hell of a job.
Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman in a steel cage match. This has actually been a pretty good build. Kevin Owens has been killing it on Raw the last couple of weeks. Last week, running away from Strowman. The last 2-3 weeks, he's been running away from Strowman. That's the story that they've been telling. He's been running away. Even when Braun wanted to be his tag team partner and do him a solid, it was all about Kevin Owens running away. Last week, he's hiding in the Biffy. He gets dumped off the stage. He's covered in the blue goo.
From poo.
I didn't see poo, but I think my Sling TV cut off the end of Raw for me, and I did not go back to see if there was poo. So
I don't know if there's poo or not.
But there was definitely...
I'm saying poo.
Okay. Yeah, there was definitely blue. But either way, Kevin Owens has been a good coward here. And so Braun Strowman's finally going to get his hands on him. Braun Strowman feels quite a bit like a bully here. Ever since he said he was going to... I feel bad for Kevin Owens. I'm going to be his tag team partner. And then he just chased him around and wanted to beat him up anyway. And then he fucked up his car.
Maybe they should go to counseling.
Maybe, you think? I mean, maybe Braun Strowman should be arrested for shoving a Biffy off a stage.
Yeah, I mean that's public that's private property,
right?
Technically owned by that company,
and that could be a health code violation. All of that poo and goo in there.
Hell yeah!
I mean, a man could get sick here.
What if he had an open wound? Ew, disgusting.
So, because it's WWE, this cage match will be all about Kevin Owens continuing to try to run away and escape the cage via the door and out over the top. What is your prediction for this one? Predictions! Taco.
I'm gonna go. I am hoping this is the match that gets Kevin Owens when fucking Shania Twain's "When" song.
Yeah.
I am hoping this is the match that he wins.
Right, because she didn't play it because he had to go on to beat Braun Strowman or something.
Yep. She said, if you beat Braun Strowman, I'll play "When." So it's like, yes, let's do this. So, I'm hoping this is the match to do it, and I'm hoping it's the same exact finish as Lesnar and Reigns at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
But this time the referee gets the call right.
Yeah. But I'm seeing some sort of fuckery like that, like, because we know Kevin Owens can take a fucking beating, so I'm thinking Strowman fucking just throws his ass through the cage, like, oh fuck, I fucked up. Well, kind of like the time Kalisto beat him in the fucking dumpster match, like it was all his dumb ass fault.
Well, in the way WWE books, Strowman has been so strong, he's just been murdering Kevin Owens, and so Kevin Owens gets the victory off the stupid escape stipulation, of course.
See, I see him squeaking out the door.
Well, sure, whatever. So we've all got Kevin Owens.
I've got Kevin Owens.
All right, perfect. Finn Balor versus the Constable, Baron Corbin. Your TV main event right here on the main card for Extreme Rules. I don't know. The change for Baron Corbin, he's in the suit now. I like Finn Balor. I don't know. This is fine.
I like the feud. I like Corbin's look.
I think it's fun.
I'm liking what Corbin's been doing. This is Raw.
Yeah. I don't know who to pick here. What did they do on Raw this week? Corbin got the win over Rude with the end of days. The crowd was really into the baby faces in that match. It's a good sign, even though I think Rude would be better as a heel here, but I'm guessing Finn Balor here.
That's where I'm going.
He just kind of feels like he's sitting down there on the lower end of the card. If we're really going to Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, we got to build up some opponents here.
Here's the thing, like, I like Balor. I really fucking do. But he needs to fucking go 110%. I think he's just coasting it because he's Finn Balor and he can. Just comparing him to Seth Rollins right now, the dude is just step up. Like, he keeps fucking showing up at full blast.
But they're giving Rollins good opponents and good stories, and Finn Balor's out here running around with Constable Corbin.
Yeah, it took a while for Rollins to get some fucking steam going, though.
Constable Corbin.
So, I know what you're saying. It's just, I feel like Rollins is going 110% right now, and I feel like Balor's just going 90.
He's a constable. Joe, what's your pick?
I'm going Finn Balor.
Okay.
Taco, who'd you pick?
I'm going Balor on this. Like, he's great. He's so fun to watch, but the last greatest thing I remember him fucking really sticking out and doing was that AJ match.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Team Hell No versus the
Bludgeon Brothers.
This is for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I firmly believe that the Miz is going to get involved somehow with some skullduggery here. And cause a rift between Kane and Daniel Bryan, and that will lead to the Bludgeon Brothers eventually retaining here. Joe, who do you got in this one?
That's my fantasy team. I got Bludgeon Brothers winning, baby.
I keep forgetting about my damn fantasy team over there on SLTD Wrestling. I've completely missed the transfer window. I'm fucked for this. I might as well join Taco.
Stay on that shit.
Down at the bottom of the
combine the points.
I pay attention. I'm still shooting for the top. Best Pro Wrestling Podcast co-host squad.
Yeah, the striker likers are out of it. This is not going well for my team over at SLTDWrestling.com. But I'm going Bludgeons here. Taco, what do you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm going Bludgeon Brothers.
You missed
Bludgeon Brothers.
Sorry, I'm still confusing my P's and my B's.
Not violent.
Yeah, skullduggery.
Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt versus the B Team in your opening hour of Raw match here, live on the Extreme Rules card. Okay, so they've been doing this thing with the B Team. They've been building up. The crowd's into it. They're selling some B T-shirts, I imagine. It's fun. Bo Dallas impersonating his brother. It's fun. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of over Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt at this point. I mean, I don't know why. It's kind of there for me. I'm just like, the
joy with them is their insanity, and we're not really seeing that with them. We're just seeing them teaming out and doing their intro and then having a match. Like, we're not getting that. We're getting that personality out of the P Team.
I feel like we're supposed to be scared now of Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, and the B Team is just kind of making fun of it. And whereas when Matt Hardy was effective was when he was just being obnoxious and kind of making fun of himself. And now it feels like he's trying to be serious or something. It's like instead of Bray Wyatt getting goofy, Matt Hardy's now a little more like Bray Wyatt. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I mean, I can see where it is. I'm a little less on that side just because, I enjoy the woke and broken, whatever you want to call it. I love the character. It's fun. And I still enjoy Bray, even though he spouts absolute nonsense every week. They both do.
Right?
But like Taco says, like that we need more insanity. We need the House of Hardy. We need the complex. We need more of that ridiculousness. We need Matt Hardy eating people. Why has he not eaten one person since getting to the WWE?
Well, he's the deleter of worlds now, not the eater of. Or wait a minute. Anyway,
he says he's going to eat people like almost every week. Still,
how long have we been talking about this? The B Team's not winning, right?
I'm picking B Team.
What are you doing?
Let's keep this going.
B Team is your Raw Tag Team champion.
Bray Wyatt is injured, allegedly.
Rhino and Heath Slater were the first SmackDown Live champions.
Well, Bray Wyatt was in a bad car accident, but wasn't he? He was Yeah,
he was on Raw, but he didn't wrestle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but
Dallas
he did. I mean, he did do one of his running.
That's what
power slams.
He was back on the house shows this weekend.
Okay.
Too, so he's back.
Okay.
But yeah, he was in that bad car accident a couple of weeks back. But yeah,
B team.
It'd be fun in a Braun Strowman and a kid wins the championships way, but it's still
I love Bo Dallas.
Yeah, sure.
You just gotta believe, Tommy. I don't understand.
I don't believe
the thing. Like,
are we still talking about this?
I want those championships on the fucking Revival, and for them
they've done a very effective job burying that team over the last month.
Have they?
Yeah,
they've been beating the shit out of Roman Reigns. They're in a fucking thing with Roman Reigns.
It hasn't been about.
Plus, it showed them they were obviously scouting their competition on Raw while watching the TV in the back.
It's been all about Lashley and Reigns, though. It's been about the rift between those two, and Reigns being a dumbass, being like, "No, I'm not going to tag. I'm the big dog. I can take on these two at once." So I guess the Revival look a little decent there, but even then, wasn't it? Yeah,
it's Reigns though. I'm just happy that they're actually they're being used. They're in a fucking thing with Reigns. It may not be great, but what is a thing? It's great that they're actually getting some photos of themselves standing over Roman Reigns. They got a fucking pinfall on Roman Reigns of all fucking people. So it's just it's slowly getting some more credibility on these two guys when their last credibility was them kicking the fucking New Day's bicycle over fucking years ago and getting injured and disappearing for a couple. You want them jobbing to other tag teams, or do you want them jobbing to Roman Reigns, who's going to get them decent TV time? It's getting them to stick out a little bit more and kind of appear a little bit more badass and make people like, oh fuck, man, these guys are ready to tear shit up. I want them. That's why I want them to get back into that title picture, though. And to me, for them to kind of stay in that heelish side would to beat the B team for the championships, not Deleter of Worlds.
Yeah, yeah, I suppose. Or it could be if the B team wins, the Ascension could come in or not the Ascension.
Ooh, boy. You're going real low hanging fruit there, buddy.
The other one, the Authors of Pain, could come in and beat the B team or the Deleters of the Worlds. Either way, I suppose.
They can come in and beat the fuck out of anyone.
Hey, guys, I just want to remind you, the B team is undefeated.
Tago, are you picking the B team? Is the question.
No.
Okay. Asuka versus Carmella. For the SmackDown Women's Championship with James Ellsworth in a shark cage hanging above the ring. I'm kind of... How many times are we going to do this shark cage thing in a year?
I think they're trying to get us to forget about the last one.
I feel like they do... What a way to get us to forget by doing it again. I feel like they're doing the shark cage thing a bit much. I mean, it makes sense here because
they got toys to sell.
He's the gimmick at ringside. He's Carmella's heater. He's there to cause the skullduggery and the distraction.
Too many distractions.
So I guess it makes
also
sense.
Worked firing him last time.
You think? So there's that. So he'll be in the shark cage. He'll drop some sort of foreign object to Carmella that she'll use presumably behind the referee's back, but maybe she uses it in front of him and she just keeps the championship because she uses...
he drops it and actually hits the referee and knocks the ref out. Ooh. And then he's like, I'm a bumbling idiot.
Well, that might work because then she could use the foreign object on Asuka and continue to keep the championship into SummerSlam.
I see Asuka kicking whatever he throws down right into her face when she tries to use it.
Well, I got Carmella retaining because of the skullduggery from Ellsworth, even though he's in a cage. Sounds like
I've got Asuka. She
hoping
needs
for
a
it.
win. She needs this win.
I'm hoping for it, but man, it just feels like we're burying Asuka. Winning streak for 2 years. Oh, she's got to have some losses. Oh, we got to build up
a whole ton of losses.
Have you seen Carmella in that bathing suit? Taco, who do you got here?
See, I don't feel that way about Asuka's situation. She's still a badass. She's still one of the fucking scariest people on the roster.
She took out the entire SmackDown women's roster with a flip dive. She's amazing.
I was pointing this out with Asuka and Carmella, when they're shouting at each other, there's just something really entertaining about two women shouting at each other in two different languages.
Right.
I do like that, yes.
Carmella's shouting and with her New Jersey accent, just shouting at her, and then you got Japanese just being heralded at her.
Right.
There's just something really fun about that for me.
That's what I liked about the Hideo Itami thing too. Is him and Cedric Alexander going back and forth, and he's just shouting at him and rolling his R's in Japanese, probably calling him a bastard. That's their big swear over there, is bastard.
You bastard.
So, yeah, good stuff there. So you're
Asuka.
You're going Asuka. Taco, did you get yours?
Mella's money.
Mella is money.
She is money. I'm not saying that Mella isn't money, but I feel like Asuka's gonna win.
Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship.
I'm fucking excited for this shit.
This is one I'm most excited for on the show. The 30-minute Iron Man match. Rollins has been killing it recently.
I wish there wasn't so many fucking matches on this card because I wish it was an hour, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too. That would be.
They would kill it. This would be a fucking landmark moment that we don't get that often anymore.
Yeah. This would be a standout match if it was a full hour match. Yeah, but yeah, Dolph Ziggler, he's really stepped up to the plate here. He's been in shit programs when he was on SmackDown. This alliance with Drew McIntyre has really done well, done good stuff for Dolph Ziggler. So now's the question. I mean, we did the thing on Monday, the big main event when it was McIntyre and Rollins, and it was one of the worst ratings for Raw and ever. But yeah, they did the little bit of skullduggery there with Ziggler trying to distract Rollins, but he curb stomps Ziggler, but then McIntyre hits the Claymore kick and gets the pin on Rollins. So does Rollins get his revenge here on Ziggler and get that championship back? That's what I want. I really liked that championship on Seth Rollins. I'm going with my heart here. I want Rollins to retain. You're going to have McIntyre out there causing the skullduggery and the distractions and all that shit.
Skullduggery.
But I just want Seth Rollins to get the championship back and continue to go on this cool run of having open challenges and having these really good matches on Raw. We need more good matches on Raw. Let's keep it going. Taco, who you going with?
Where's Extreme Rules based out of?
I do not know. Joe, why don't you give your prediction while Taco's looking at it?
I'm going to throw this out there again because I threw it out there before when
Pittsburgh.
When Seth Rollins didn't have backup or anything. Dean Ambrose is healthy.
That's exactly
McIntyre.
Hold on,
McIntyre could play a factor.
A thing came out, I think, today saying about his injury update and saying that he's still going to be out a couple more months. That's why I was asking what arena is this in, because maybe that's a good why would that just come out now? Oh, by the way, Dean Ambrose update. Oh, wait, a week before a fucking pay-per-view where odds are on Rollins. So that's why I'm there was something that just came out about that.
I'm still saying that fuck those rumors. It's still a possibility, but I feel like he'll get back up then. But whether it be Dean Ambrose or somebody else, it could even still be Roman Reigns. He's on the card, they're there. Why not? I'm going with Tommy and my heart, and I'm going Seth Rollins.
Who you got there, Taco?
I love that championship on Rollins. He fucking whooped a lot of ass with it. He like I was saying earlier, that dude is stepping up 110%. He's taking charge. I want him to be the one to dethrone Brock Lesnar. I really fucking do. He earned it to me. His redemption story to get that pinfall and be the man that shooed the beast out of WWE, it's so suiting, King Slayer.
That would be satisfying as hell.
Exactly.
But how do you get there if he loses to Ziggler here? You got to have some sort of way to build him back up to some. We got time.
It's Rollins. You can easily do that.
You could do a number one contenders tournament, but it's WWE. Every time we say we want to build up to something, it's we'll do everything in one night, and then we'll have 5 weeks of nothing else to do.
Nothing.
So,
but that's what I'm going the Zig man on this. First off, I am now loving that record scratch because it's finally been effective where it's blah blah blah. part.
Right, people are talking.
So, yeah, it's finally effective. I'm like, yes, and it's finally the right attitude, right swagger coming out, too. But, yeah, I'm loving what Ziggler's fucking doing with the championship. I'm loving this shtick with him and McIntyre, and I saw someone out there too was like, fucking throw Revival in that mix, get those 4 guys going as a stable. I was like, I like it, that's fucking hot.
You're all over the Revival tip this week.
Yeah, I want Rollins at that main event picture, so that's why I'm going Zig, man. Rollins can easily get back into that, that hot streak in an instant. So
they could do a multi-man match to determine a number 1 contender
easily.
Remember that was what was going to be at Extreme Rules.
But that's what's kind of nice of having the insider knowledge, as people think they have, that, it's going to be fucking Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar again at SummerSlam, where there's your fucking story. If we do like a mini tournament or a mini storytelling, we can get to the point where we have Rollins against Reigns to go to the main event for SummerSlam against Lesnar, and that's putting that fucking fear back into people's minds of, God damn it, Reigns is going to win this shit. And boom, Rollins wins. He's over. He's hot then.
Well, don't forget you got Braun Strowman running around with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Exactly,
too, so.
And what a better way to
insane.
Fucking cash in than cashing on the guy that cashed in before.
Or cash in on Roman right after he wins it from Brock. Or enter himself into a 3-way situation, too.
But we've seen Rollins in the past. Like, I don't want to fuck with that Strowman. What the fuck you doing, Ambrose? Like, I don't want to back you up on this shit. So, we know that he's like, on that situation. But, yeah, I know. Rollins my man again, the main event pitcher.
All right, moving on. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. Alexa defending her Raw Women's Championship in an Extreme Rules match.
This match, anything goes!
So we have Ronda Rousey, who's
rest in peace,
buying a ticket to her to sit in the front row of this match. So there's your foil right there, Ronda Rousey. Probably, I'm putting it at 100% chance getting involved in this
somehow,
in this anything goes Extreme Rules matchup here. Ronda's coming back for revenge on Alexa Bliss because she's coming back from suspension or whatever. So that's the story going into this. Nia Jax is all over the place. 1 week she's good, 1 week she's bad. So
she's gonna have Shayna Baszler there to do her bidding. Ronda Rousey.
So I don't know.
Which I got sidebar real quick. I liked Shayna Baszler last week since we didn't get to talk about it. Being on Raw in Sioux City, her hometown. Like, what are you doing here? It's my hometown. Raw's in my hometown. Why wouldn't the NXT Women's Champion be here? Just scoping shit out. That was awesome. I love that.
I missed that.
I saw it. It was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Was it on the show?
Yeah, it was on Raw.
I must have just skipped past it or something.
Yeah, but it was just a quick backstage interview, and so it was cool because that Sioux Falls crowd was fucking hot too. That was fun. It was refreshing. It was so cool just to see her. Just like it was so refreshing just to see the NXT champion be like, I'm the champion. Why wouldn't I be on Raw and backstage? Like, it's my town. What the fuck? So
I run this place.
It was cool, but it just popped in my head saying her name for Ronda Rousey.
Well, I don't know who to pick here. One of you guys go first.
I'm just gonna take Nia Jax on the offset of her standing there in front of Ronda Rousey with that belt, taunting her with that belt, like, I've got it.
So going right back to being a heel.
You call it a heel, I just call it cocky.
Yeah, it works too.
God, it's like if Bliss wins this, you pretty much have to make the Ronda Rousey Bliss match for the championship, which fuckery still can get involved because it's Bliss.
And it's, anything goes.
This match, anything goes!
No, I'm looking down the road because,
Ronda
Rousey said, I'm still coming for you whether you're the fucking champ or not.
Right.
So it's just like, well.
But how many matches are we going to do at SummerSlam here?
15, maybe 16.
Might as well have it be for the championship.
So, exactly. So it's just like, Bliss has to walk out the champion. to make that match the championship match. Otherwise,
but I mean, going back to having a million matches at SummerSlam, they could have a non-title match, and Nia Jax does something else in a match, or they could do a 3-way.
They
could.
God.
You know what would be so WWE? Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss becoming friends again.
Yeah, that's true.
and then it's like
Alexa Bliss just became friends with Mickie James again for no absolute reason.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, why not? She only fat shamed her and old shamed her a bunch. So I mean,
she is old.
I'm going Bliss.
I'm thinking Bliss somehow retains here, even though
squeaks one out.
Skullduggery involved here.
Maybe Ronda interferes
no,
and
fuck
knocks
that.
out.
I'm going Nia and then 3-way at SummerSlam. That's what I'm doing. That's
sounds like a nice schedule
with Nia Jax, Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss back to being friends because that's the way WWE is going to do it.
Well, you could always
be all over the place.
You could always have it set it up too, where Ronda interferes to cost Nia the match, so Bliss wins. So Ronda knows that she's going in a title match. That's where Nia Jax gets pissed off and gets her way into the match.
Right, and then now Nia's mad.
Mm-hmm. And Nia angry.
Nobody wants Nia. Nobody not wants Nia to be mad. Roman Reigns versus Bob Lashley for bragging rights, as Michael Cole put it on Monday Night Raw. Originally a multi-man number one contenders match, now for bragging rights, this feels like the pseudo number one contenders match.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed most of the build-up for this.
It hasn't been terrible. I mean, again, like the whole pull-apart thing on Raw, it's overdone, honestly.
Yeah.
At this point, like, that's probably the worst of it.
I mean,
they've actually had some decent promos. I didn't mind Roman Reigns running into Bob Lashley, and then saying, like, I hope you call me out. And he's like, I was planning on it anyways, but yeah, hang on, give me a second. I'm going to run out here. Mm-hmm. And they just fucking do it. That part I liked about that whole situation. The pull apart, but whatever. Like you said, good build.
I could do without the shark cage and the pull apart for about a year, at least. I'm thinking.
What's the stipulation on this match?
Nothing. It's just it's for bragging rights. That's what Michael Cole.
The pay-per-view, so they'll own the pay-per-view.
Cool.
Yes, and Great Balls of Fire.
No, I've totally dug the build on this match. It's been like the most. I don't want to say most, but it's just Roman seems comfortable on the mic. I like him coming out in the fucking tank top and not the fucking vest. You even pointed out on Twitter there. It's just he just doesn't give a fuck, and I'm glad he doesn't feel buttoned up and trying to be polished and look at me Roman. Like, it's just fuck, man, let's fight.
Yeah,
that's all I expect out of this fucking dude. That's all I want. Like,
and I've seen some people screaming about Bobby Lashley's promos, but I've enjoyed what he's been doing.
Yeah, I know he's been on the point too. So it's just, it's just
comes
one of those
off a
things
little
where it's
scripted,
just,
but I mean, not
it doesn't in WWE really.
Well, and go back to his early day WWE,
really bad.
They're really horrible. Like, he has come a long way when it comes to promos.
And I'm probably giving him a little bit of a pass here because I saw some of the stuff he did in Impact, and I really liked what he was doing in Impact promo wise. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping to see kind of more of that Bobby Lashley here. And again, it's been the scripting, but I think he's done okay.
And we'll get there with as he gets more faith from the WWE guys too, or trust.
So picks.
Roman Reigns.
It's Roman, isn't it? It's Roman until it's not.
I'm hoping for a good fucking physical match out of these two. I don't know if they'll give it the time, just because again, there's so much fucking going on. But I mean, it's got to be Roman.
And I've liked Bobby Lashley, but some people have said he's looked kind of clunky in the ring too.
He's always looked clunky.
So,
to me.
but he's got an intensity to him. And
that's the thing. Yeah. You need some guys need that clunkiness to keep keep it real. Fights aren't perfect. You're not going to go out and have a fucking ballet in a bar fight.
Right.
So
and
I ain't like these big guys just brawling and nasty and just mean. Like fucking Vader, dude. Like, he's nasty.
And we've talked about this too, but I'm intrigued by this Lashley-Brock Lesnar possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't feel like they're going to go there at this point. They haven't.
I feel like they don't trust Lesnar enough to have that fight. I feel like he would want to have the MMA brawl when they don't have a license for that. They can't.
But they could do a worked looking MMA thing. He's leaving anyway. So I don't know. I think Brock Lesnar would be more interested in doing something with Lashley.
I know, as I'm saying, I'm like, I always fucking dog on Lesnar like that, but I always give the guy more credit, or less credit than he really is. Like he is a professional. He just knows when not to be.
I think Brock would have his working shoes on for Bobby Lashley, whereas Roman Reigns would be like, "What, are we doing this shit again? How many suplexes are we going to do?" And then we'll take it home. Okay, So I just think that would be a better match. But I'm going to go with Roman until they don't go with Roman. So that's my pick there. Finally, the main event, AJ Styles versus Rusev for the WWE Championship, the SmackDown Championship, if you will. Again, AJ on top of SmackDown, I dig it. He's doing really well. Rusev is over this whole Rusev Day thing. It's working. It doesn't feel main event, though. It doesn't feel like like it's time to put the belt on Rusev.
They already spoiled it, though. Rusev already called his mom, so he won.
Yeah,
that's true.
Done, dude.
He did. He already called his mom.
I will say this: while I love Rusev, it was kind of hard with him on commentary.
I loved him on commentary.
Also, did you guys see that there's a Corey Graves "Shut Up Saxton" T-shirt now?
Oh God,
perfect.
Oh boy. But yeah, I'm going AJ on this one. I think it'll be good. I'm really looking forward to the match. I'm hoping that they keep the skullduggery and bullshit to a minimum, even though I'm sure the Aiden English and Lana factor are there.
So they get thrown to the back.
They could, but I don't know. It's WWE. Of course they're going to be involved. It's going to be
distraction. Too many distractions.
But I think AJ will get the win. He will overcome the odds and retain the WWE Championship, because I don't know what the plan is for him at SummerSlam, but it's like, where the fuck is Samoa Joe? So
that's a big hot card right there.
So I think that'd be a good way to go for SummerSlam. But I was going to say you got the Daniel Bryan thing out there too, but they're doing the thing with Miz with him for sure.
Yeah, that's the big story there is him and Miz for SummerSlam.
You guys doing anything different for AJ and Rusev here?
Nah, AJ's gonna take it. I really do want Rusev to get it, but I think I can't remember who we've said it on SmackDown, but this is his first singles attempt at the United States Championship. He's been in he's been in a multi-man match from the sound of it, basically, but he's never had that one. So the first tryout, it'd be awesome for him to win it, but it's unlikely.
It's not time. He's not serious enough. He's mid-card at this point. He's Intercontinental U.S. champ level right now.
Well, and I still think even though again he's over, like being like that heelish character, he still works as like almost a big heel for heavyweight contenders. But like you said, doesn't have quite what it takes to take the championship.
Yeah, and that's where the skullduggery and distractions comes in, and then you have a match. So. All right, one more thing before we get out of here, our retro recommendation.
Change the subject.
Retro recommendation.
Now, as we open the vault here, this one not on the WWE Network. We took a week off last week, and we did a retro recommendation for the free match of the week on njpwworld.com. The problem is that it was only free for the 1 week, and it was Vader versus Stan Hansen. This was, a couple weeks ago. Everybody was still talking about Vader. Everybody was getting into these matches. I did watch the match. Taco, I think you did watch it as well, but you didn't get a chance to. Joe, but this was the famous match where fucking Vader's eye pops out. He's pulling, and this was early in Vader's career where he has the full mask on, right? Not the mask that we all know and love in his later career, just the kind of the thin mask where you can actually see his head and his face. This match, he's got the full mask on, his eyes popping out of his head, so he rips the mask off. The crowd's like, "Oh!" So, but yeah, just a physical brawl between these two,
and for him to fucking go that long for popping his eyeball back in his head, and just stopping was never an option. It's just the mentality, and not to bring up his name, but that's exactly what Enzo was talking about. Cass, you bitched out for a minor injury, man. You got to finish the match. That's he makes a good point though, and you look at Hiromu this weekend. It's like, fuck, dude. Like, he finished the match. You look at Vader with his eyeball popping out, finished the fucking match, and they're still slamming each other on chairs and the floor and everything. So it's just like, I don't want to take anything away from somebody not being able to finish the match, but it is very frowned upon.
How visibly obvious is it that his eye is popping out?
It's under the mask. Like, it pops out under the mask, and then he pops it back in, and that's when he rips off the mask.
But he rips the mask off, and like you could tell his eye is all fucked up.
Gone.
It looks like Homer Simpson's mouth on his eye socket.
Or Baron Corbin's belly button.
I'm trying to be PG about this, by the way.
Yeah, it's ugly stuff, and
he has a pussy eyeball.
They're literally out there just punching each other in the face. For this match.
That is so profane,
taco,
and rude.
But yeah, just brutal
Good
stuff.
Old pussy socket
makes you want to watch more of these ugly matches. So, but we're going to move on from Big Van Vader.
Oh, we're still watching ugly matches.
Yeah. Well, we decided since it's SummerSlam season now, we're gonna go into SummerSlam ourselves, and we didn't really do much research for this week's match for the next week. We just decided to pick one that was in our local market. So we're going back for next week's retro recommendation. We're going back to 1999. SummerSlam.
It's 1999.
SummerSlam here in Minneapolis. It's Mankind versus Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H, and this is for the championship, correct?
Yep. Triple H, as someone would say.
Triple H out there, and he's got China with him, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
that
you got the body on referee.
That's right. You've got
while still governor,
right? I'm the Governor Ventura. I'm going to be the referee at SummerSlam. So you got Ventura out there. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to go back and check that one out. So I don't remember if it was any good or not, but we're going to go back and find out. We'll talk about it next week on the retro.
We're going to go deeper than an Alabama tick.
So if you got some cool SummerSlam matches that you want us to review, hit us up on the Twitter machine. I can't believe I just said Twitter machine.
The Twitter machine.
Do the Twitter thing.
Have you ever been on the Facebook?
On the Facebook.
I'm sorry. I'll never. I need to police myself when I say. I need a constable.
When we're talking about the internet.
I need a constable.
So you follow us at www.
BBW Podcast. Give us your retro recommendations for old SummerSlam matches for us to check out. We'll have some good ones to recommend along the way on the road to SummerSlam. So that'll be for next week. All right, let's get out of here. What is your match of the week?
Match of the week.
And we're all going G1 special on this one. Let's start with you, Joe.
I'm going to go with the Takahashi versus Dragon Lee match. I mean, even though, there is the fallout of the injury after the match, they still put on one hell of a match.
Yeah, these two have had a crazy history. This was for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. This goes all the way back to CMLL, Ring of Honor. They've had a hell of a run here in New Japan, just most recently during the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. Hiromu was defeated in that tournament by Dragon Lee. Hiromu went on to win the tournament, round-robin tournament style. That's why he was beaten earlier, but able to go on to win. He wins the tournament, wins the championship from Will Ospreay, and now has the rematch here with
requested this match.
Yes, with Dragon Lee, so he can avenge that loss from the tournament most recently. Hell of a match. Like you said, Joe, there's a brutal suplex move in the match where Hiromu gets basically his neck broken. He goes on to continue the match and finish it. But, he was in the hospital for several days. Just recently ended up flying back to Japan, so hopefully he's okay.
Everyone offering to cat sit for him.
Yeah. Well, and one thing that I noticed is even after like really tough matches with Takahashi, he always had that shit-eating smirk on his face at the end when he won. If you look at his face, there is no smile on that face. Like he is. I need to get out of here.
He was in
really
cruise control.
It really sucks. But again, way to put on a match. But you hope for the best for the guy.
Yeah, again, people can come back from neck injuries, and we're everybody in the world's got their fingers crossed and hoping for good things for
recovery. There is that spot in the match too where doing the fucking tree roll thing, but he stomped him to the outside of the ring. I noticed that on the Andrade and Sin Cara match, they did that spot too. So I thought it was a nice shout out to him too.
That was something I forgot to bring up on Strong Honor was the appreciation of the trio woe because he set him up on the ropes, so he was laying. On both sides of the rope. I'm just like, there's a good way to do it without having to pull yourself up and then get kicked in the fucking chest.
But they did do one on the apron as well, just like...
they did it to the apron, to the outside of the mat, and then watching SmackDown this week, like I said, Andrade and Sin Cara did that same spot to the outside of the ring, too. So it's like, wow, that's unique for SmackDown, so that was awesome. But it's like, I just fucking saw that, a couple, days ago. So that, it was a little Los Ingobernables shout out there. I thought, probably a subtle shout out. I'm just overlooking it.
My match of the week is the semi-main event from the G1 special. Juice Robinson winning the IWGP United States Championship.
America.
Fireworks shooting out of his nipples and eagles shouting out of his ass. He wins that championship versus Jay White. I'm going to play that fucking promo because this is, we played it on Strong Honor, but the promo that Juice Robinson cut going into this match with Jay White was so phenomenal. So they're out there having a tag match, and Juice Robinson gets his hand broken because Jay White, goddamn it, that heel, he grabs a chair and he pulls the chair up and Juice Robinson punches the chair and breaks his hand. But that's not going to stop Juice. Even though Juice's finisher is punching a guy and hitting his pulp friction, that's not going to stop Juice. Juice is going to do it.
What's that look like to you?
Broken hand, brother.
What's that look like to you?
That dude broken
I'm no doctor. Definitely not a doctor. But that's a broken metacarpal.
See?
That's what that is. That's a broken metacarpal. Okay, Jay, guess what? I got 206 bones, motherfucker. 206. I think. I might be wrong. Good thing I don't have Twitter so nobody can let me know. I got 206 bones, you broke one. I still got 205. I know what you're doing. I never said you weren't smart. You're smart. And you're a badass. You know that's how I win my matches. I punch motherfuckers in the jaw, and then I hit them with pulp friction. Well, it doesn't look like I'm going to be hitting pulp friction anytime soon. After a left hand, anyways. Guess what, dumbass? I've rolled up Kenny Omega. I've rolled up Big Mike Elgin. I can roll a motherfucker up just like I can hit him with the left hand of God and hit him with pulp friction. You're smart, Jay, but your heart and your nuts are little small, shriveled up pieces of shit. I'm all heart and nuts. Heart in one broken hand, nuts in the other, motherfucker. San Francisco? Whoo! San Francisco! Woo! I'm an American. Woo! That's an American belt. It's in America on America's birthday. You ain't an American. Kenny Omega, no offense, you're not an American too. You know who needs that belt? An American. Well, guess what? I'm next in line. I'm going to be coming into San Francisco red, white, and blue, sparklers shooting out of my nipples, and launching bald eagles out of my ass. That's right. Jay, I can fuck with you just like you fuck with me. All right? Yeah! yeah. Oh, Juicy's flamboyant, and he wears rainbows, and he hops around and acts like an asshole. Guess what? I like whooping motherfuckers' asses, too.
I'm just going to stop it there because that's so much good stuff. But yeah, so
good.
The match plays into all of this. So he's
roll a motherfucker up.
He's out there with a cast on, so he's not allowed to punch anybody anyway. But they're out there doing
they made that stipulation right beforehand.
Right. They're out there doing this match. Some skullduggery. The referee is out of position. Juice does hit the punch, does hit the pulp friction. Fucking Jay White kicks out. Now everybody thinks Switchblade's going to win this fucking thing. But then he comes back. Juice Robinson rolls him up. He can roll a motherfucker up. 1, 2, 3, wins the belt. It was great. Just a great storytelling, playing into the promo. All of it just so much fun. I love what
flamboyant American pants too.
Oh yeah.
yes. He's a modern day Brutus the Barber Beefcake, but
fucking great.
Way better wrestler. Taco, what is your match of the week?
I went with the main event of the G1 special. Kenny Omega and Cody just wrapping up their feud allegedly, and it was a long match, back and forth match, and Cody saying, "Hey man, I'm here to show everyone that I can wrestle, I can go bell to bell, blah blah blah," and going at it, and of course the fuckery got involved. Got this tables, ladders, the chairs, and all that going on. But it kind of came out later in the match. Everything sooner than that was all Kenny Omega doing everything, like the stomp through the table. That spot was awesome. It just literally beating the shit out of each other. It was great. It was awesome. And
we talked about it a bunch on Strong Honor, but that suplex off the top of the ladder and crazy, and then Kenny Omega power bombing Cody out of the ring onto a table that didn't break.
Yes,
just fell over. Yeah, so
it's just
brutal match.
Just them, just still getting up, going at it. So yeah, just good shit, and decent surprise, good surprise at the end. So
and the Bullet Club story kind of being wrapped up, the Elite kind of getting back together, but then the Tongan side of the Bullet Club breaking away, attacking the Elite of the Bullet Club. So we still have some faction wars going on in the Bullet Club going forward.
Keeping it interesting.
And outside of Bucks, that's the OG Bullet Club too.
Yep. So we got some cool stories going into the G1. We got a full G1 preview of the biggest wrestling tournament in the world starts this week. Check that out over on Strong Honor. All right, we got to get out of here. It's been 2 long podcasts today, so make sure you check out that Strong Honor, all that cool stuff over there. Check out sltdwrestling.com. You can find this podcast, Strong Honor, a predictions league, a fantasy league that I am completely fucking up my team in, and some cool fan articles, other podcasts. Again, sltdwrestling.com. Go to bestprowrestlingpodcast.com for this and Strong Honor podcasts. Best Pro Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com if you want to email the show. Send us your retro recommendation ideas and whatever else you got. Follow me at Tommy Stryker, spell Stryker with a Y. All these plugs or whatever are going to be in the description for the show. Taco, where can people find you?
Follow me on Twitter at HGREV Taco.
And you can follow me, Joe, at JoeBPWP. That's at Joe, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks a lot. Rate, review, subscribe, tell your friends. Bye.
Peace.
What a week it's been. So much to talk about. I have too many notes, man.
He's from Minnesota. All Minnesotans know Japanese as a second language.